Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today's video we're going to continue on the fun of customizing the Mercury like we've been working on all winter, and we're going to work on the bumpers. So I've been looking at the bumpers and also the taillights. Everybody's been asking what we're doing with taillights. So we've been doing some eyeballing and testing of some parts and trying to figure out what we liked on the car. I've been stashing bumpers for this car for a number of years, and I have a set of 37 DeSotos. I have some 41 Lincolns. I have some kind of, I don't know what else. I have a handful of neat bumpers. Looking at all those bumpers, oddly enough, I didn't like for different reasons to each of those and what we were doing, and decided on actually modifying the original 39 Mercury bumpers. So a pretty neat idea that I think will be a nod to some of the cars that were done back in the day. And also something that's unique for us. So what we're hoping to do is use a vintage, like 1930s, 1940s chrome plate holder that has a glass lens on it. I have the same type of one for the free T, and I stashed a second one back years ago. And we're gonna be putting that, and I think we're gonna hang that down below here, and we're actually gonna cut into the bumpers and fit the 41 Ford lenses. So the Jimmy Summers Mercury convertible has a really cool customized bumper. They use like a Lincoln, a second front. It has a front Lincoln bumper on it, 41 Continental type bumper. And I think he used the front ends from another Lincoln, same car. And then he made a custom surround, and in it were 41 Ford bumper lenses. And it's a really cool look. I don't want to exactly replicate that. We're not trying to recreate it, that exact car, but we're trying to use some of the inspiration of what was done on some of these famous customs and hot rods back in the day. So I'm going to take that idea, similar thing. We're going to make a bucket for the 41 taillights. We have some NOS lenses, actually a bunch of them, so I have some room for error if I break one. And we're going to carefully cut a hole in here and sink those lights into here. So hopefully we'll have the plates around. We'll have these two little lights, and that'll keep the clean back end. So that's the plan. Hopefully I don't mess it up. We only have one 39 Mercury bumper, and we only get really one chance to cut it. So let's get started. There we go. All right, so we started mocking some stuff up here with the bumper, and kind of sort of had a change of plans. We looked at the Continental Zephyr bumper, and while it would be pretty cool, I also kind of started feeling bad cutting it up. We have a 41 Continental that has crappy bumpers on it. Those are pretty nice, and I started thinking twice about lopping that rear bumper in half and taking a section out. And I also started thinking about, I didn't want to exactly copy Jimmy Summers' car, so kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from that car and some other cars and different ideas. We're going to try something a little bit different but the same. So I like the idea of putting the bumpers, putting the taillights in the bumpers. A lot of times you would see with some of the Barris cars, it's become really popular nowadays to replicate that, where people cut open the overriders and they put a marker light in here. They make it out of plastic. It looks really, really cool, but again, trying to do some stuff that's a little different, but inspired by some of the older customs and hot rods of the day. So Jimmy Summers' car, after doing some research, he ran 41 Ford lenses in that custom-made bar section surround. So I had this real old plate surround with the glass cover on it that I think looks ornate and cool, and I'm thinking about mounting that right about like you see. It's at the level of the bottom of the bumper guards, just at the top of the bumper. And then we were pulling out all kinds of different taillight lenses. We tried 41 Lincoln off my Lincoln. We tried 40 Plymouth. We tried 40 Chevy. There was a bunch of them that we went through, and nothing was quite right. And I went back to just the simple 41 Ford. The lenses are very, very plain. When you see them in the car, they have a big housing with chrome Art Deco trim and everything, and they look big and bulky, but the lens is literally just a little rectangle. So my thought process is they have these little tabs on them. So if we cut a hole in the bumper that is just the size of the face of the lens, they can come in from behind, and we'll put a little bit of rubber or padding on where they touch the bumper, and then make a bucket that will basically push them in and hold them tight against, and it'll be just the lens that you see. So we cut these little, so it would be, I know it's hard to tell, but they would be mounted something like this. The other neat thing is that the width of these stays right within these lines here, so we're not going like way out of the style lines in the bumper, which I think is important, and didn't work on some of the other lights. So that keeps them pretty much right within there. And these are little patterns that we've already made out of chipboard, and we can fit those wherever we want them. So we put some center lines. We used the plumb bob and everything to get the license plate frame centered, and then we're going to try and, I'm gonna have to make some center lines on our patterns here, but we're gonna basically put those, trace out what we need to cut out, and then I need to cut this out of the bumper. Now these old bumpers are spring steel, so you can't just run a drill through or anything like that. I'm probably gonna have to rough cut it with an abrasive type tool, so like cut-off grinder, plasma cutter, grinder, any of those type of stuff will work. So we're gonna try and get this opening cut, and then maybe use carbide burrs to clean it up and get it to size, but I think we should be able to do it. So we're gonna mount something like that, and it'll be just a little red lens that's either flush or just proud a little bit of the surface, depending on what we like. So step one is cutting these holes, then we can put these lenses in and kind of like tape them in and stand back and enjoy what they're going to look like. The license plate frame is pretty simple. I just basically need to blow 2 holes in the bumper back here and put studs in that will allow us to mount the license plate frame in permanently, and that'll take care of that. That's pretty easy. We can see right through this glass lens here where the slot is, so we just find those spots, punch those holes in, and then we'll be able to bolt that in. We'll kind of do all the wrecking of the bumper in one shot. So that's the plan. Let's get to cutting. we're gonna let it down and see what the lights and stuff look like. We gotta adjust everything, but we got the bumper bolted on and things roughly set in place. We're gonna need some loosening and adjusting and I gotta adjust the plate. I glue those holes with the plastic cover, they might be a little off.
Yeah.
I didn't open them up very big, they're like almost exactly 1/4 inch holes.
Okay.
And I can...
The whole bumper's tilting that way.
Oh, is it? So we just gotta raise the bumper.
Yeah, I think it's
Which
the
bumper is it?
The left side, that droop.
Okay, so we can loosen those bolts. And
Yeah.
set up. So that might be actually not my holes.
No, it holds up pretty good. I mean, that looks pretty straight. I think it's the bumper
Let me
itself.
see, hold on.
Right, can you do that?
Hold it.
Look at that shit.
I didn't make the bolts super tight.
Right.
Did I help?
It's way closer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's way closer.
Yeah, it's better. It's kind of cool. It's just it's simple. You know, it's like you want to do something real crazy and overdone. It's kind of just simple.
Yeah.
It works.
No, I like it, like you say.
I'm not
it's
like-
simple. It keeps it back in the car clean.
That's my thing. The only stuff I have to say about it, why I wouldn't like it, is that it's plain. But that's kind of what you want. You want the back to just be plain. Everything's in the bumper.
Right. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, right? The
It's
only
like-
thing is, there's no wow factor to it, but
But that's
it works well with the car.
kind of what you're looking for. You don't want it to stick out or be...
Yep.
Yeah, anything else I would do would just be like over the top, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's cool, but it's too much, you know?
Right, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. All right. So I got the tabs welded on, got the taillights mounted. We actually went with a smaller plate surround. We did a test fit off camera and had to Z the brackets, the bumper brackets a little bit. So we're gonna test fit this thing again, see if we can get it to fit and do some more minor adjustments, but we'll show you kind of roughly mocked up what it looks like. Pretty psyched on how it's looking after some adjustments. So spin around. Had to put it in the snow because I didn't want to wait for the brackets to cool down nicely.
Couldn't do that. We couldn't wait for that.
Do you have any bolts?
Yeah.
Let's see if we get one in. I don't know what it's gonna do. Now that we
We're
adjusted
about to
everything,
find out, yeah.
now that we adjusted everything, it might be completely wrong. How about go way out still?
Way out.
Okay. Let me see. Let's do the opposite of last time. Let's get yours. Hold on.
I got it.
Put it over your frame rail.
When we grab the adjustable wrench.
Let's just heat it. We know what needs to happen.
Yeah,
It's-
okay.
This one here, actually what it needs is this one here needs to be bent out more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think if we bend this out more, it'll come out at that angle because it's actually at a slight angle and not at the bumper.
Yep.
Let's pull that one. Not a lot.
Okay.
Really on fun.
It's the grind sort of thing, yeah.
Time now. I just felt.
Wow.
Can you hold your hand out for this?
You want to put one on this side too? This only has one bolt in it, so it doesn't rubber down.
Bolts in there.
This.
The front one, the back one is. Front one's lined up better. Means we're
Getting closer. That's definitely a getting closer moment.
so. All right, let's just let it down and then we'll measure and then tomorrow we'll. I don't think I took a photo with the exhaust set up underneath of it.
What's that?
Go ahead. I said I wanted to take a photo with the exhaust hanging
yeah.
but I forgot. So
I was thinking about it too, or I didn't get
I
it.
should just quick cut those pipes and then I can lay them underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, car's got underglow.
Oh. Ooh, you got the ground effect lighting, huh?
All right, so we went to the smaller plate and wanted to see what the exhaust, adding some, push on the stage. Sitting up higher.
You need blocks?
Yeah, I mean we had it up against the bumper before. This end, and then we'll put a little.
Here, I'm on the carpeted part here.
Oh, I'm not on the carpeted part. Can you get to the inside?
Okay. I can get. Not sure where I'm hitting against there.
Okay, so yeah, they're about. Oh, this one's.
They're close.
Yeah, they're
From back here, they look,
Yeah.
they look right, yeah.
I'm going down. I'm spiraling.
Oh no. We need an intervention quick.
Well, you know, my OCD.
Yeah.
It's like it's just mock-up. Why am I obsessing? So
Uh-huh. It's just a general overview kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think the tips really help. We were talking about it off camera, but I think the tips help complete everything.
It does.
It doesn't. I don't think the lenses stick out visually. You don't notice them as much.
No, they don't.
All right, so yesterday we got the bumpers all mounted up and they're tucked in position now. You can see they are a lot closer to before. I could like stick my whole body between the bumper. Now it's, you know, just get your hand in between there. So it's really good. It's right where the body's tucked in, where the bumper irons are basically touching the opening. So without changing the opening, that's about as far as they go, and I think it's a good width. You can see here the buckets I made are back in here, so we're going to make a gravel pan probably next that will hide all that stuff. We dropped the just temporary tailpipes, exhaust we set in there. They're just setting on blocks, and Moon's blocking the shot like a good boy. And yeah, we put the smaller license plate frame. So we went through all these different license plate frames. They got the massive one and went to a smaller one that still has the glass lens and the chrome housing, but it's still kind of big. And I ended up going all the way down to the real basic, I had an NOS one kicking around in a box. It's just the little tubular adjustable one, real simple. You can't eat that. And simple sometimes works good. So got the lights in. I didn't tighten down the license plate, so it probably isn't 100% straight, but it's in there. It's snugged down. Taillights are all in. Steve worked on putting the bulb holders in, so we just drilled and put those universal bulb holders in to hold 1157s, and it cleans up the back end really well, I think. And Steve will show you. He hooked up the wiring here so we could take a look. So we'll show you low, dim, and so marker light and brake light. So that's marker light, right? So that would be. That's probably what we're going to use for turn signals, or would you use the brake lights?
No, that goes on the bright one. The
right. Okay.
Brakes and turn signal use the same filament.
Okay, so this is dim. This will be our marker lights when we're driving. So they're definitely, you can see them. I mean, they're not like they're dull or anything. And then you want to swap them. We'll show brake light / turn signal.
It's not.
Play the waiting saw. There we go. So a lot brighter. So that'll be our brake lights and turn signals. I think it will be plenty bright enough. And then if you want to hit the lights, Steve, we'll show you what they look like at night. You know, your brake lights. We figured in the comments everybody is going to be complaining because the lights aren't. So they're plenty, it's hard to see with their, over here there's my window, but there we go. So there's the good look at the lights. They will be plenty bright. And I think they're going to be good. Obviously they're down low. It's not optimal. Your minivan's probably going to have better visibility, but this is a custom and looks over other things. All right, thank you, Steve. So that's our bumper tuck modification video. Changed a lot from what I planned. We got to do a little bit of tweaking to the bumper. This bumper has a little wave in it. So this side of the bumper is sticking out from the body just a little bit further. So we're going to put the bumper itself in the press and take that little wave out, get it all dialed in, round the ends of the bumper irons and all that little stuff that doesn't really need to be on camera. And that will get it all taken care of. But I'm very happy with that. It's different than you know, what everybody's kind of doing, the common ways, but it's very reminiscent of what old customs were doing. Looking at hundreds of old photos, people were either sticking lights just right on top of the bumper, they were using the little motorcycle like Harley bullet shaped lights, and they were just kind of bolting them above or next to the license plate, all that little stupid stuff. You know, people, those are the ways it was done. And then of course nowadays the bears started doing the overriders. They put the taillight in the overriders, and that has become like the super common thing that, you know, it was probably only the top 1% of customs had that done to it back in the day, and now it's like every custom does it. So trying to think of outside the box but still using vintage parts, and this is what I came up with. We were talking about probably just putting some little acorn style license plate bolts in to have the little bulbs in them. When I was younger, I used them on some cars and it worked out well. Yes, it's not period correct, possibly, I don't know, but that'll be a solution for lighting up the plate light without adding anything gaudy. So that's a long-winded way of showing you what we got done for the bumper. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for following along. Let me know what you think of the new tucked and modified bumper setup and clean back end on the 39 Mercury. Thanks, guys. See ya.